Hi, it's Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video I'm going to take a look at a completely free program which is useful for either backing up or cloning entire disk drives on your computer. Now this actually is really good because it doesn't matter if you are using Windows, whether you're using Linux, whether you're using a Apple-based system. It doesn't really matter at all. It is device agnostic. I think that's the right word anyway. So basically it should work on anything. This is a live bootable USB drive which can actually just go in and do everything it needs to do. So you don't even need Windows running on a computer to actually clone your drives. And I would strongly suggest, if you are planning on either watching this completely or using this as a backup utility later on, just get yourself a USB drive and use it as a dedicated disk for this particular task. So you can just put a label on it saying clone or something like that. The choice is entirely up to you. So this is going to be Rescuezilla. It's completely free of charge, and we're going to go through now and show you how to set it all up and how it's used. And I think it's absolutely great. I've used it already a couple of times today, just doing some tests, and it works very, very well indeed. Very quick, very snappy, and best of all, it's completely free and doesn't require any installation on your donor computer, which is fantastic. So let's head over to the computer and take a closer look. Okay, so we're on our Windows desktop, so you can download this on basically any computer you want to, but I'm using Windows because that's what I generally tend to use. So there's two parts you're going to need to this: the Rescuezilla actual program itself, and also we're going to need to go over to Rufus to actually burn the image onto our USB drive. Now, all the instructions are actually on the Rescuezilla site. I'll leave this linked in the video description, so yeah, you're more than welcome to read through it in more depth if you want to, although realistically there's not a great deal of need to. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to download the latest stable version. This was released not too long ago, actually a couple of days ago, so it's pretty new. And then you've got the option here, so download the latest stable version. Click on that there. Choose somewhere to save it to. You can choose your desktop or wherever you want. I'm going to choose a desktop for simplicity here, and we'll get that started. It isn't a very big file. So whilst we're waiting for that, let's head over to Rufus. Again, links for this will be in the video description. And on Rufus, you can choose whichever version you get, whether the one you install or the portable one. I'm going to go for the portable one. So download that as well. We'll save that to the desktop as well. So click on save, and hopefully very shortly both of those should be done. Yep, both of those are done now, so that is excellent timing. So we can close this window down. We don't need this any longer. And what we'll do is open up Rufus. Now make sure that your USB drive is actually plugged into your computer before you start up Rufus. And Rufus will ask for the user account control authorization, so click on yes. And it will ask if you want to check for updates. There's no point because we've literally just downloaded it. And then we'll go into Rufus itself. So you don't need to do anything here at all. All we need to do is to make sure really that the device is the correct one. So that's our 32 gig USB drive with no label. That's absolutely fine. And click on select to get our image. So we go back to our desktop where we downloaded our Rescuezilla ISO. Highlight that, click on open. And that is essentially it. So the rest of it will be done for us. So just click on start. And you've got options here for the write as an ISO image, recommended, or DD mode. So if you do it as an ISO image, you can actually add files to the folder or to the actual drive itself afterwards. If you do it in DD image mode, then you can't write anything else after. So we'll do it into the ISO image mode, the recommended one, and click OK. It'll give you a warning saying that all the device data is going to be erased, which is yeah, pretty self-explanatory. So if you're happy, click OK. And then it's going to go ahead and burn the image. Shouldn't take too long at all, probably about a minute or so. So we'll fast forward through this section. Okay, so that has finished now. So we can close down this window. We don't need Rufus anymore. So now what we've got, if we look into our computer, we've got the Rescuezilla disk there ready. So you can take this drive out and just store it somewhere safely if you want to use it at a later date. But we want to keep on using it, so I'm going to leave it actually where it is. And what we're going to want to do is to shut down our computer, and you're going to now want to boot from this drive. So in order to do that on various motherboards, it's F11, F10, F9, whatever, depending what it is. Or alternatively, you can go into the BIOS itself and choose your boot overrides. Just check your owner's manual for the motherboard or computer you're using, and that will tell you how to get into your BIOS boot menu. Also, on this particular instance, I'm going to install a drive. It's going to be a USB one. I'm actually going to clone my Windows disk, which is on this computer, and I'm going to clone this into a backup USB drive because I want to swap over the disks. So With that said, let's turn off the computer and then we can start back up into the BIOS and I'll show you how to get started. Okay, so we've gone into the BIOS on this particular machine and we want to boot from our Kingston Data Traveler, which is the USB drive. So we'll just choose that and press enter. And at this point, because my monitor is a 4K monitor, the scaling doesn't work particularly well here. So if you can see what you need to press here, feel free. If not, it will automatically continue anyway very shortly. Now, if you've got a 1080p monitor, it's gonna look much better. Now, when you get to this part here, obviously this is in 4K at the moment, so it looks kind of weird. So I'm gonna try and change the resolution. I'm pretty sure if we go down to the start menu here and go into AR&R, we can then choose our output, which is HDMI 3, and we can change our resolution. So let's make this a little bit more comfortable. Choose 1080p and click apply, and there we go. That's a little bit more usable. So if you need to change your resolution, if you're using a funky monitor, then you can do that in that section there. So this is the main screen for Rescuezilla. They've got some options here. Now, if you want to, you can make backups and also you can do restorations as well. So this is a backup and restore application as well, but it also does cloning as well. And also you've got options for verifying images. And also there's an option for exploring images as well. So if you've got an image backed up onto another drive or a USB stick or via network or whatever, then you can choose that and you can explore the images and maybe get files off if you need to. But in this instance, we're going to concentrate on cloning. So let's go to the clone section. And basically it says about understanding cloning. Obviously you can read through this at your own leisure. But essentially, it's copying one entire disk to another entire disk, and then it will be either bootable or usable, depending on what you're trying to achieve. So we're just going to click on Next. Now it's going to identify the devices which are actually connected to the computer, such as USBs, etc. So as you can see at the top there, we've got a SCSI drive. Now the SCSI drives are generally going to be what are USB drives, and it shows you the capacities, etc. So what we're trying to do at the moment is we want to convert or copy all of the information from our Predator drive, which is this 2 terabyte one here. So where it says select the source drive to clone, we're going to choose this one, so the Predator drive, and then we're going to click on Next. Now it's going to ask us for the destination drive. So in this instance, I'm going to send it over to our ByWin X570 Pro drive, which is that one there. So just highlight it, and then we're going to click on Next. Now it's going to say which partitions do you want to clone. Now, if you're doing a bootable disk, so a Windows installation, Linux, whatever it is, I would suggest doing all of the partitions. If you're just cloning a data disk, say a Steam library, that kind of thing, you can just choose the data partition if you know which one it is. But I would recommend realistically just leaving it as it is and let it select all the partitions. Also, it's going to say it's going to overwrite the partition table. That's fine. We actually do want it to do that. So when we're ready, we're going to click on Next. And it's just going to confirm what we're actually trying to achieve here. So it's going to take our source drive, which is on NVMe 1 on the motherboard, and our destination drive is our SCSI or USB drive. And then it's going to copy all of those partitions over and also overwriting the partition table. So that is pretty much it. So all we need to do now is to click on Next. And it's going to come up with some last minute warnings. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes, we do, because it's what we plan to do. So click on Yes. And then what it's going to do is going to do a lot of clever stuff in the background, such as checking the drives, checking the partition tables and all that kind of stuff. And then it's going to start transferring all the data over. As you can see there, so it's cloning the drive you selected. This may take an hour or more depending on the speed of your computer and the amount of data. Now obviously, depending on what it is you're doing, the size of your disks, the speed of your disks, if you're doing it over USB, if you're using 5 gigabit USB, 10 gigabit USB, Thunderbolt, etc., etc., then obviously it will take different times. And if you're copying large files like video files, they should transfer very quickly. If you're doing lots of tiny files, they take longer to do. So just be patient, let it do its thing, and essentially just go off, have a cup of tea. The last time I did this was with our 2 terabyte drives, which had about 1.3 gigabytes of data on there, or sorry, 1.3 terabytes of data, so just over half full. And I went away, did some vacuuming for about 25-30 minutes, and it was all done. So this shouldn't take too long at all, even if you've got a lot of data, because it does run kind of natively on the hardware, and does run quite quickly, so you don't have any of the limitations of Windows or the operating system running in the background to slow things down. So again, now it's doing the main drive, the biggest partition, so the data partition, and it's going to say how long it's going to take to actually complete the task. And at the moment it's transferring around about 80 gigabits or gigabytes per minute, so yeah, that's not too bad. So like I said, just be patient, let it do its thing, and we'll come back at the end when it's all finished. So I actually changed my mind. I'm actually going to let it carry on doing its thing. For those of you that are still watching and kind of want to know what happens next, essentially when it's finished, just click on next or done, and that is pretty much it. You can press the power button on your PC when it's finished and it'll shut it all down, or you can go down into the bottom left hand corner like you would in Windows or other operating systems, click on the flag and you've got the option for shutting down. You can restart, reboot, etc. I would strongly suggest though, if you have cloned your main system disk, before you reboot again into Windows, do make sure you remove one of the disks, otherwise Windows can get a little bit confused and kind of try and put different boot sectors in the wrong places. So yeah, just take out your disk. If it's a USB, obviously just unplug it. If it's an NVMe, just take it out of the NVMe slot or unplug your SATAs, etc, etc. And you should be absolutely good to go. Now, of course, as with all our videos, if you've got any comments or questions, feel free to let us know in that comment section below. Alternatively, you can join us on our Discord and you can put any questions you may have there and you'll get answers much, much quicker. Whether or not they'll be helpful answers, that is debatable, but certainly they will be quicker. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, smash that like button. If you want to see more content of this on a daily basis, maybe consider hitting subscribe and also the chime notification. That way you'll be notified of future video releases. But for now, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.